Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Such a pleasure to see you. My name is Wanda Mann, and I have the joy and honor of being the East Coast editor for the SOMM Journal. And today's Instagram Live, what can I say? It's a very special episode because today we're going to take a sneak peek into Napa Valley's best week for the wine trade, Premier Napa Valley. Now, Premier Napa Valley was created 25 years ago, so this is a very special year indeed. And it was created to build relationships with members of the wine trade and to preview the upcoming vintage. This year, Premier Napa Valley is scheduled for the week of June 1, so it's right around the corner, and the live auction grand finale is on June 5th. So in addition to safe and small in-person gatherings, this year's Premier Napa Valley has a virtual twist. So for registered wine trade, there are 26 intimate in-person tastings and 47 virtual tastings that wine trade can participate in. And to learn more about all of these things, go to premiernapavalley.com. Now, what makes this auction so special? Well, this is the really intriguing part. Now, up for auction are 149 unique micro lots of wine in as few as 60 and no more than 240 bottles. Most of the lots being presented are from the elegant 2019 vintage, along with a handful of extended barrel-aged 2018 Cabernets and a sampling of white wines and Pinot Noir from 2020. But what makes Premier Napa Valley truly so unique is these wines are made specifically for this annual trade-only auction. You will not find them anyplace else. So if you snooze on Premier Napa Valley, you truly lose out on something really exceptional and truly unique, which is such an overused word, but in this case is so appropriate. For Premier Napa Valley, winemakers craft their finest, most innovative and creative wines exclusively for this event. Each lot is something special that is normally not offered from the winery, and these wines are never to be replicated. Each bottle is hand numbered and signed by the vintner or winemaker. So within every bottle of Premier Napa Valley wine, there's a unique story of a place, a vine, a style, a grape variety, or an aspect of the winemaking process. Now, this is an auction. So where do those proceeds go? Well, they go to promote, protect, and enhance Napa Valley. So again, the website to learn more is premiernapavalley.com. But today we have a real treat. We have 6 representatives from wineries that are participating in Premier Napa Valley. We're going to do kind of a little speed tasting and conversation with each of them to learn about their lots for the auction and why they're so excited about this event. So we're going to be talking to Stringer Cellars, Fantesca Estate and Winery, Trefethen Family Vineyards, Tate, Dakota Shy, and the Wine Foundry. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on our first guest, and let's give it a whirl. So up next will be Stringer Cellars, will be our first guest, and we'll have Casey Stringer, who is the lead winemaker. I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you for tuning in. Hello to all of you. And this is the part where, and there's Casey.
Hi there. Hi, Wanda.
How are you? So lovely to meet you.
Great to meet you too. Thanks for doing this.
Well, you know, this is extra special because my understanding is this is your first time participating.
Yeah, it sure is. This, we're a new winery on the Napa scene, and
I seem to have lost our volume, Casey. Casey, I can't seem to hear you anymore for some reason. That's very strange. That's the beauty of Instagram. We never know what's going to happen. You know what? Why don't I'm going to have you hang up and we'll start again. I can't hear you. So what we're going to do is have you hang up. Yeah, Casey, we can't hear you. There's no volume. So why don't you log off, Casey, log off and log on again. Bear with us, everyone. We're going to give this a try. We'll give Casey a moment, hopefully, to see the message. Sometimes Instagram. All right, so I'm going to send him but I think you can all hear me. So it seemed to be an issue on Casey's end. So we're going to give this a try. If not, what we'll do is we'll go a little out of order, but let's just give him another opportunity to get on. Okay. It happens, right? Exactly. Let's see, but I see so many familiar faces, so many Napa.
How about that?
Yes, we have sound.
Sorry
Yes.
about that.
No worries. So look, I think you were giving me a really good, passionate answer and I missed out on it. So this is your first time participating in Premier Napa Valley. So let's start from there because I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes, first time with Premier. We are a new winery on the Napa Valley scene. And so we've been looking forward to participating in Premier for years. And obviously this year isn't exactly the way I envisioned my first one being, but we're gonna make the best of it. So I'm pretty excited about the lot that I have blended for the event. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much should be fun.
Right. So before we get to your lot, which I'm very excited to taste, I would love to know from your perspective, someone who's been a part of the Napa wine scene, but relatively new, what does this event mean, Premier Napa Valley mean for the winemakers and the vintners?
Well, it's a chance to, all get together. We're all, it's always, I would say it's kind of a, very like sort of friendly competition. We're all, we all work together and we all, excel off of having everyone come to the valley to taste, and we're not always together, so it's a really good event to do that, and it's also a really great event to meet all the trade across the country. The trade is what keeps it's the lifeblood of what we do.
Oh, your sound is going out again, Casey. Can't hear you again. We lost your sound again. We can't hear you. Maybe we'll have to hang up and try again. Okay, everyone, thank you for your patience. Instagram, when it works, it's a beautiful thing, but it keeps us on our toes as we do these live conversations. But if anything, we've all been kept on our toes for far more serious things this past year. So we're still going to have fun. We're going to make this work. And we're going to bring Casey back on because it's his first time being a part of Premier Napa Valley. This is a very special occasion.
Hello?
Hello?
Does it work now?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
it does.
I don't know what's happening. It all of a sudden just stops at the sound, but okay.
No worries. As long as no one's hurt, we're okay.
All right.
We're fine. So I'm so excited. So we have Stringer Cellars, Three Brothers, 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon. For those who are going to look for this on the website, this is lot 146. 5 cases were produced. Now I have a 375 sample, but you produced standard 750 bottles for the auction, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, it'll be bottled in early July.
Great. So tell us what makes this Cabernet Sauvignon so special, because you're all challenged with creating something that's a little bit different from what you would normally do. So tell us what makes this.
So our normal program is that we produce a Napa Valley Cabernet, and we produce a number of single vineyard Cabernets, but we do not produce a reserve. And so initially when I went into this, I was thinking about, creating a, sort of the ultimate Stringer Cellars Cabernet. And after, doing a bunch of trials on that, things were kind of looking to be that it was about 3 vineyards that I used, and it was roughly a third. And so I decided to actually do that, to make the wine split up into even 3 parts, from a vineyard in Howell Mountain called Rocky Ridge, Stagecoach Vineyard and a vineyard in Yountville called Ghost Block.
Okay.
There were 3 different clones, and each one of the wines had, a particular, aspect that really stood out to me. And I thought when they mixed together would be, just a great Napa wine. And it was a clone 191 from Rocky Ridge, which is a very dark tannic Cabernet. 337 from Stagecoach, which had a bunch of bright fruit, a whole bunch of mid palate. Then Clone 7 from Yountville, which was really classic, sort of red fruit, cedar, cherry, and so I mixed it all together and sort of made what I said, sort of from the vineyards I use, my ultimate Napa Cabernet.
Great. So tell us a little bit about the winemaking, about type of oak, aging, and all of that good stuff.
I use somewhere between 50 and 75% new French on my Cabernet. This one is 66% new. 2 of the wines came out of new barrels, and one of them was a used barrel. I use take fermentation, nothing too special, but on the Stagecoach aspect of this blend, I used barrel fermentation, which is not, it's becoming, it's fairly common, but it's a very laborious way to make wine, and it really makes for very extracted wines with sort of soft tannins, and that certainly shows in this wine. It's a big extracted, young Cabernet.
I'm loving it. It's really lovely. It's so vibrant and expressive. It's juicy, it's full, but it's not jammy. It's not overwhelming. There's just really beautiful balance with this wine. It has a lot of personality. So I think I'm actually drinking and not tasting, but
well, I'm pretty excited about this wine. It makes me think maybe I should do a reserve wine.
So I'm curious, the name Three Brothers, are there 3 Stringer brothers?
Yeah, there's
involved?
3 Stringer brothers, and so when the blend ended up being a third, it was just kind of a, I don't know, cute, cheesy thing to do.
Very, very clever. So, it must be quite an emotional feeling. It's a world-renowned event, but you can't replicate this. The thought is you make this for Premier Napa Valley, and you send it out into the world through them.
Well, it's that's the cool part of the event.
Yeah.
Is that it's it's a one-time thing. It's a rare deal. I'm a small production winery, so my stuff's not all over. But this is seriously rare. It's only going to be out there one time. So.
Yeah,
for sure.
Are you already thinking about, what you're gonna, put together for the next Premier Napa Valley? Is that already? I mean, you don't have to tell us what it is, but
it has crossed my mind. But I don't want to talk too much about 2020, but that was it was a rough year for Cabernet for me, for smoke taint wise. So I did not bring in very much fruit last year. So yeah, I'll get creative for the next event. I'll make something good.
But I've heard 2019 was actually quite a good vintage.
Oh, 2019 was awesome. I mean, there was plenty of rain in the winter and spring. There was a few, sort of mild heat spikes, but it was pretty easy going. The one vineyard I get from Howell Mountain, I pick really, it's just it's end of October every year when it's ready. So I had to sort of watch the wind with the Kincaid fire that was happening in Sonoma. But fortunately, the smoke wasn't an issue. But other than that, 19 was a good one. Those are the years that we like.
Well, it shows. Congratulations for your first Premier Napa Valley. Thanks for joining us, and hope to meet you in person and taste together one day.
Well, thanks, Wanda. Thanks for running this, and hope
Thank
to meet you soon. Next year.
Great. So we're going to have Casey sign off, and our next guest almost needs no introduction. Many of us know him. He's a Renaissance man in the wine world, DLynn Proctor, and he's here as the director of Fantesca Estate and Winery. So I'm going to add DLynn in. This is going to be a lot of fun. No user available. Okay. So let's give this another try. Fantesca wine. Are you watching, Fantesca? If you're watching, you can send me a request to join. So I'm typing in and it shows that you are not there. No user available. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to skip around a little. We're going to go to Trefethen Family Vineyards with Hailey. Trefethen, Hailey, I hope you're there. Ah, okay. DLynn is on his personal Instagram. There we go. Just give him a second. There you are.
Hey, Wanda, I've been here. Trying to get in.
Well, you know, it's very VIP. You know, the Instagram waiting room is crowded. What can I say, DLynn?
I didn't go anywhere.
So nice to meet you finally.
Hey, you too. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
You know what? I'm just hanging out. The only thing you're going to have to contend with is I'm directly under the flight path, and it's a little bit windy, but my voice carries. So we're going to have a chat.
No worries. No worry. So how long have you been at Fantesca now, DLynn?
This is year number 4 at Fantesca Estate and Winery with the Hoffs perched on top of Spring Mountain. Well, we're not at the very top. About 700 feet of elevation.
Okay. And your winemaker, she's quite, I mean, you're very well known. Heidi Barrett, also, come on, the wine diva of Napa, the first lady of wine.
Absolutely, Mrs. Heidi Barrett. It gets no greater respect to every other amazing winemaker, but I'm on Heidi's team, so.
So as someone who's very, you know, just an integral part of the Napa scene, what does Premier Napa Valley mean for you personally and also for the industry? Why do you think it's so valuable?
Yeah, P&V is a very, very important time to really get together and celebrate these amazing wineries. Really just be down with the trade. You know, I've been a part of the trade my entire career, and I've never left the trade, if you will. So it's a very exciting time for folks in the trade to really be looked after and doted on. And we present these special wines that we craft specifically for them and their establishments. And that's what makes it so awesome. Number 25, right?
Yep, this is the 25th. The 25th? Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Wow, so I have a barrel sample of your lot number 147. 5 cases were produced.
Yes.
I'm very intrigued by the name. So before we get into the wine itself, all great things wine unify.
Winston Churchill. All great things are simple, and many can be expressed, if you will, in a single term: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, and hope. Now, I think those are 6 expressions that we can all ring true with those and bring those home. But this particular lot number 147 for P&V, we wanted to celebrate Wine Unify, a beautiful nonprofit that I co-founded with 2 other amazing individuals. Mm-hmm. And this lot is special because, of course, all great things usually comes from Howell Mountain, at the highest peak of the elevation there. It's always Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, some vintages Merlot, but always Petit Verdot. Cabernet is the backbone. Okay. But for this special lot, 5 cases, of course, this particular all great things does not come from Howell Mountain, but this is estate fruit from our winery, from our 53 acres. We only have 10 planted, of course, in Spring Mountain, but this is estate fruit. And we pull this, if you will, we blended this from blocks 6, 7, and 8 on Spring Mountain. So high tones, red fruited. Of course, I'm a big fan of the 19 vintage. So far, this wine reminds me of the 12, not in theory because of how the vintage was, but it's so aromatic and it's so very welcoming and elegant and pleasant on the nose. I love the aromatics of the 2019. Of course, it's a sample. You know, we pulled it from barrel to bottle in 375s for you guys to taste, of course. But once we get this in 750, it'll have about 18 months on it at that point, and about 40% new French, elegant, pretty, gorgeous wine. And yes, it is special for you guys, for P&V, for the trade. So hop on it.
You know, that's what really amazes me about this auction. Yes, you know, there are tons of wine auctions, but first of all, the trust that the winemaking community clearly has in P&V
Yeah.
to say we're going to dedicate our time, resources to crafting something, especially how tight knit this community is, because that's a big leap of faith to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So look, we're excited. We've always been excited. I've been a part of P&V for as long as I can remember my professional career. And this is our third lot, I guess, with Fantesca doing with P&V. And I'm always looking for this time of year. So June 1st through June 5th, trade, everybody listening and watching. Mark your calendars. I'm sure you already have, of course. You've seen the emails, you've seen all the communications. So, and big shout and much love to every other vintner that Stringer before me. I think Trefethen is after me, and Tate and everybody else. Big shout to everybody. Good luck on your lots. People jump on, support All Great Things Wine Unify. Support everybody. We're just here to make these wines for you guys and have fun.
Short and sweet. I love it. And the wine is beautiful.
Thanks so much.
I think by the time I get to the 6th winemaker, I'm going to be even giddier than I am now.
I know.
No, really, really. Well, DLynn, it's just really a pleasure to meet you. I've been watching your career a long time, and you're definitely someone who inspires many of us. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys, and thank you, Wanda. Thank you, SOMM Journal. Let's go. All great things. Appreciate you guys.
Let's go. All great things. Let's be united. Wine keeps bringing us all together, right?
That's it.
All right. So we're going to say goodbye to DLynn now. He has a way with the words, I tell you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out. All right. So DLynn's going to say goodbye. And Hailey, you are up next. So here we go. Just give me a moment to send the request. Now, Hailey, are you doing it from your personal? Maybe she is. Let's give it a second. Wow, it's so nice. Everyone is so excited about this event because what I'm seeing is more than just an event. It's really bringing the community together. It's not just about auctioning off wine. It really has a much bigger purpose of supporting Napa Valley and the winemaking community there. And there's Hailey Trefethen. Hi.
Hey.
Sorry for the scare earlier. I was like, oh, I'm going to have to bring Hailey on sooner.
No, I'm here. I'm enjoying. It's a beautiful day. I thought I'd take a moment, be out in the garden. It's great. So it's been fun to watch.
So everyone, let me give Hailey Trefethen a proper introduction. Trefethen Family Vineyards, you are an active member of the production team. You participate in the vineyard and winemaking decisions. So Premier Napa Valley must be a very exciting time for you.
It's always super exciting. I mean, the kind of the crafting and the thought that goes into these individual lots, because it's not something that we get to do every year or, that we replicate. And so it's a chance to let a specific piece of vineyard shine or a specific barrel and really kind of dial in and do some experimentation. And really and that's what we did this year for 2019 is we selected a really specific part of the vineyard that was just truly outstanding in 2019, and we selected our favorite barrel from that lot to be able, which normally we'd never be able to do, because 5 cases, what can we do with 5 cases?
Exactly. So you are lot number 132, as you said, 5 cases, and I would love for your sister to walk us through what makes this particular part of your vineyard and this barrel so special.
Yeah, so we named this one this year Sleeper Block. Because that's truly, that's kind of the nickname that we have for this little block. It's not quite an acre up on our Hill Spring Vineyard. So set up in the foothills of the Mayacamas. And it's one of those things, you're walking that vineyard during harvest and it's good, but it's not great. There's a block right next to it that when you're tasting the fruit from that other block is better. But something happens during fermentation with this block and it opens up and there's transformation happens. And so this is the first time that we've been able to let this block truly shine on its own and give people that opportunity to taste this specific piece of our vineyard. Oh yeah. I actually have some right here.
Cheers.
I'll get out into the sun. Cheers. Exactly.
I love it. I love it. So sustainably produced, as you said, a single vineyard in 2019, from what I'm hearing, was kind of an ideal vintage for you all. It was a nice long season, apparently.
Truly, yeah, really able to bring things in as they were ready. Nice, even keeled summer. It was beautiful, and all the wines, the 2019 reds especially, are just really opening up and showing themselves really nicely at an early age. They're very giving in that way, but are definitely, they have that nice fine grained tannin, and so they'll be lasting for the ages as well. I think that's the biggest difference, is switching your palate over to tasting all these baby wines. There's so much tannin, there's so much body in these, and they're just, they're going to change and get better with time as kind of that fruit opens up.
Lovely, lovely. And just as someone who's participated in Premier Napa Valley before, I would just love to know a little bit about the process of how you all decide what you want to create that's different from what you normally do. How long does that all take you to kind of brainstorm and conceptualize and say, this is what we're going to do?
Yeah, it depends on the year. When there's something that we taste in the vineyard that we know is special, we can decide earlier on, right? Because we can taste it so early. And there's other times where it's like, well, let's wait. There's no one specific subblock. It might be something if we want to do a blend and showcase things. So it really depends on what Mother Nature gives us with that vintage, and we're able to react to that. And so sometimes we know immediately, and this year was one of those years that we knew. We were tasting through everything. We had an inkling when we were tasting through those lots, and then with a little bit more time and barrel, we were like, yes, this is the one. You're constantly thinking about it. It's in the back of your head as you're going through and blending all these other things. You're looking for that special something that really is going to, that wants to shine, that wants to be given a little bit of time on its own and not blending in with other things.
Wonderful. And I think it's just clearly, wine auctions are everywhere, but this is so unique, not only because you're all going above and beyond to create something special, but I'm getting a sense of this community that Premier Napa Valley, that this is really using wine as a vehicle for a much larger purpose.
Absolutely. It's a pretty fun event. I will give you that. It's I'm exhausted at the end of it. But it is so much fun to see everybody, and this year especially it's going to be really fantastic.
Yeah.
Whether we're connecting virtually with the trade or in person, we're just really excited to be able to connect and be talking about the future and what's to come. And so it's really bringing us together at a perfect time. I'm outside because it's summer, everyone's outside, we're coming out, we're doing things. And so it's perfect timing to just be able to celebrate what Napa has to offer, the things that we're able to craft here, and the community that we're able to build and bring together. And this is a really big community. This is an international community. And so that's when it gets really exciting.
Well, I have a feeling, there are 47 virtual events this year. I have a feeling next year, when people can start traveling again much more, you're going to have a big, big crowd.
It's going to be a great one. But for now, we're going to enjoy kind of working our way into 2021 P&V and really celebrating the 25 years of this event.
Yes. 25 years and a lot of resilience, so very impressive.
Absolutely. And adaptability, right?
Yes. Well, Hailey, thank you so much. Lovely. I'm loving, seeing this wine kind of express itself, kind of shyly revealing itself, and really lovely. Cheers. All righty. Okay, everyone, this is going by so quickly. So we're up to our next winemaker, which will be David Tate from Tate Wines. So just give me a moment to type in Tate. I'm a little jealous of everyone outside in the beautiful vineyards. I'm in Manhattan, and you've probably heard some sirens. I apologize. That's life in the city. So we're going to give David Tate a moment to log on. Sending request. Let's give it a second for the Instagram magic to happen. Okay. Gonna send it again. Tate Wine, I see you're watching. I just sent the request. Oh, someone said David is awesome. Just met him Tuesday in Raleigh. That's great. All right, Tate, if you're watching, you can go ahead and send me a request. Let's see if that works. I do see that Tate is on. I am sending the request, but it's not being responsive. So I'm going to send one more. Tate Wine, send request. Let's see what happens. Hello. If you're watching, can you send them a message? Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hope that Tom Garrett from Dakota Shy is on. So we're going to loop back and hopefully we can get David Tate on. So Tom Garrett, who is the winemaker for Dakota Shy, you will be up next. So let's give this a whirl. Dakota Shy. I love that name. Dakota Shy Wine. Send request. Okay. Ah. Hello, hello.
Hi, Wanda. It's Tom Garrett with Dakota Shy. I'm not sure if you meant to grab me or not.
No, I did. I was having, we're going a little out of order because the winemaker schedule ahead of you can't seem to log on. So I hope you don't mind coming on a bit early.
Not at all. Happy to be here.
Wonderful. So I'm so excited. So you are lot 27. You've made 5 cases of Cabernet Sauvignon. I have the barrel sample. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this very special wine?
Yeah, thank you. This is from the Molds family vineyard. It's a site, a hillside site in Oak Knoll, so just south of Yountville, which traditionally we think of a little bit cooler, so great site area for Chardonnay and Merlot. But Cabernet honestly really thrives, especially in this hillside area on the west side of Oak Knoll. But the reason that we chose the lot is largely our connection to the Molds family. So Steve and Betsy Molds have been farming, they planted the vineyard in 2000 and have been farming it themselves, along with their vineyard manager, Roberto Juarez. And we've been working with them since 2012. So they planted in 2000, we've been buying the grapes since 2012. We buy 5 different blocks from the Molds. And the block E2 is a standout for us every year. We do make a single vineyard wine from the Molds vineyard, and the E2 is usually a component of that. But for a 5-case lot, we knew we could pull a little bit out,
okay,
and make a real standout wine. So every year, this block just produces, as you can see with this Cabernet, wines with incredible texture. There's this breadth and mid-palate lushness that is just really luxurious. That is still framed by some tannin and some bright acidity. So, despite that luxury, it's got liveliness and verve to it. And then aromatically, was this really beautiful floral sort of violet character. And then just delicious fruit. But one of the big reasons that we chose it is that, we talked a little bit about how Premier is such an important part of community in Napa Valley. And both from the standpoint of us as winemakers getting together in the same room and getting an opportunity to walk around and taste everybody's lots. Not happening this year, but that's we always look forward to that every year. And then also the community of getting to interact with the trade members who, while we may talk to here and there via phone or computer, that's sort of the one time a year where we get to see all these friendly faces and people that we've worked with for years and years throughout the U.S. and internationally as well. Steve and Betsy are really invested in the Napa Valley community. Mm-hmm. So through the Napa Valley Grape Growers Association, Steve was a past president of the Napa Valley Grape Growers Association, also named Grape Grower of the Year back in 2018. He's also very involved with the Napa Valley Farm Labor Organization. So really giving back to the whole community that supports both the growing and winemaking throughout Napa Valley. So we at Dakota Shy, Todd Newman, my partner, Dakota Shy, and myself just have this real connection to Steve and Betsy. And we wanted an opportunity to kind of showcase their wine and also showcase how important they are to us in this community of Napa Valley.
That's wonderful. And it must be so exciting, winemakers, it must be great. You have this opportunity to step a little bit outside of your normal lane. So there must be very liberating and exciting when you get to create these wines for Premier Napa Valley.
You're right. There's, both the excitement of trying to create something that's really, really special, but also being able to step back and say, hey, I don't need to make 100 cases of this or 200 cases of this. I get to try and figure out what 5 case lot is just going to, blow our minds. And that is it's a ton of fun. It's not easy, it takes a while to find that jewel, but it's always a ton of fun.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I'm curious, you send the wine out into the world, these 5 cases, in some ways, because it's such a limited production, I'm sure there's even a greater sense of joy and maybe a little, oh, my baby's leaving because it's such a small amount.
Yeah, there's some truth to that for sure. One of the really exciting things for us too is like who actually buys that lot, because then that establishes a whole nother layer of relationship and community. Which is just another really unique sort of layer to everything that we're doing. We don't often get to see where it goes beyond that. Because we've been lucky to work with some of our favorite partners who are in Japan. We'd love to be able to see where in Japan it is.
Wow.
We need to get out and travel there, but also obviously some great importers, retailers, and distributors in the U.S. that pick up the wines. But it's a lot of it is that relationship that develops with the person that actually buys the lot.
Yeah, it's so true. It's an important reminder how Napa is globally renowned, and all of these lots are kind of these little pictures, snapshots of a moment of time in Napa, of the vintage, and also, the winemakers' creativity. So the thought that these wines are in Japan, right? That's just must be really, really exhilarating.
It is really exhilarating. It's hard to believe. And we get really excited when we learn about somebody, just in a neighboring county who sends us a picture of themselves enjoying a bottle of Dakota Shy. But getting to see that from Tokyo or Kyoto, that's a whole new level.
Yeah. It really brings a new perspective to idea of like the power of an auction. It's not just about selling 5 cases of wine. It's about, getting the Napa message out to the world and also helping to support the Napa community. So there's a lot of power in these fermented grapes here.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we're really thankful to be able to be involved with Premier in general, with Napa Valley Vineyards, and certainly appreciate SOMM Journal and you, Wanda, stepping in to host this today.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you for, like I would say, Instagram Live, you never know what's going to happen. So thank you for being game to do this. Someone left a message. Hello, Tom, you're a wonderful winemaker. So your fans are out there watching.
Here's all of them too.
Well, thank you so much. I hope to meet you one day in person. Maybe next year I'll get to come out. So
thanks, Wanda.
Cheers. Thank you. All right, everyone. So we're going to go back. We're going to loop back and see if we can get David Tate from Tate on the line now. So I'm going to ask Tom to hang up. And let's see. Tate, I see you watching. So let's make this happen. Fingers crossed. For David Tate, we have their Nolan's Cuvée 2019. Okay, is that you?
Really me.
Okay.
Everyone.
Keeping me on my toes, Mr. Tate.
Yeah, I apologize.
No worries.
Yeah, much. Nice to meet you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina right now.
Oh, okay.
We are on the road. We just came from Raleigh this morning, and we're kind of doing very safe, distanced tastings, wine dinners. Everything's kind of starting to open up a little bit here, so we thought we'd come out and see our friends out here in North Carolina.
I love it. Now, is North Carolina your home state, or?
No, fine. I'm going to pull this so that you might be able to see.
Okay. Yes, much better.
St. Helena and Valley is our home, but
okay.
We are a 3-person team in total. There's my wonderful wife, Suzanne, myself, And as of 20 months ago, our little boy, Nolan, which the wine is named after.
I was going to ask about the name. So Nolan's Cuvée. Oh, how sweet. Congratulations.
Yeah, it really is. He decided to come. Well, first of all, we broke the cardinal rule of having a child during harvest. We are so busy that it's not something that you really want to manage at the same time that you're managing your other babies, the grapes and the wine that you're bringing in. But it just, it happened. He was supposed to come in October. He decided he wanted to join harvest earlier and came.
I love it.
And just before he came, we picked the Merlot. And then right after he came, we picked the Cabernet. And we are a single varietal, single vineyard producer. But because he came in between those two, we decided to do a blend 50-50 of what came on either side of him and make it Nolan's Cuvée.
Oh, how sweet. Oh, I love that. Such a personal wine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Had you ever thought previously of doing a blend, or this was completely inspired by that situation?
But again, for Premier, it's such a special wine that you want. It had to work too. We didn't just say, okay, we're going to do this because, it came on each side of our wonderful son. When we put 50% of the Merlot with 50% of the Cab together, it just worked so wonderfully. The Merlot gives you just a big pop of fruit, really lifted. It's from Calistoga, single vineyard, vineyard, named after the gentleman who went up to save what was left of the party. I don't know if you know that story.
Yeah.
Came back, the governor gave him this big piece of land in Calistoga. Calistoga was a resort town to the hot springs, and big piece of land there, and that's where this vineyard is, on the land that he received for going up and rescuing what was left of the Donner Party. So that's right in Calistoga, pretty close to Calistoga. So really lifted, wonderful area for Merlot. And then the Cabernet, which we picked after Nolan was born, Elena from this amazing family, the Wolf family. They've been in the wine industry for decades, and they've purchased a vineyard off of White Lane, just beside Heights there. So really amazing to piece together. You got the fruit and the lushness of the Merlot, and you've got the complexity and the structure of the Cab, and it just fit. And the sad thing is, I think everyone's been saying this, we only get to make 5 cases of it, and then that's it. We won't make it again.
That's it. And that also what makes it so intriguing to all of us, that these are truly, if you're talking about a wine auction, these are so special. So this idea that you have something named after your son, you kind of had to step out of your lane as a winemaker to create this. And then it's only 5 cases.
That's it. 5 cases, though, that's, a good chunk of our 1,000 case production. But, Premier to us, I've been participating in Premier with the winery I work for outside of Tate is Barnett Vineyards, wonderful family, the Barnetts. That's actually who I'm representing right now out here in North Carolina.
Okay.
We do 1,000 cases. That's it. So tiny production. And at 5 cases of our 1,000, you're getting a good chunk. That's a pretty good percentage.
That is. So what is it that you love about Premier Napa Valley? Why do you think everyone is so eager to be a part of this? Because like I said, you said you're a small team. So this is a big lift to say we're going to dedicate time and resource to create something different in only 5 cases. Why does it matter so much?
Yeah, the NVV is unbelievably important to, I would say, almost every vintner that is part of the NVV and every vintner in Napa Valley. They do so much to champion the name Napa Valley, to protect it also out in the marketplace, protect it across every country in the world that they that wine is distributed into. And so that protection, that support, that sponsorship, they go out, they bring retailers to us, they bring Premier when it's live. You're meeting people from all over the place that you haven't had a chance to meet before.
Wow.
And it's just another chance to also get together with your fellow vintners and just hang out. We're all busy, you know. Here I am in Charlotte, you know, somebody else is somebody else, but at pre all come together, everyone's home, everyone's there, and you have just an influx of amazing people from all over. But the NBV is what it sponsors and helps support, and they are unbelievably important to the Napa Valley. We wouldn't be where we are without them, so that's why it's important to us.
Wonderful. Well, I'm really enjoying this sneak peek, this preview. So much character here. Great harmony between a Merlot and Cabernet. They're just kind of bringing out the best in each other.
It works so well. It works.
Well, I hope that at some point, you know, it'd be great when Nolan is 21 years old and he happens to be somewhere and a Nolan cuvee pops up.
Yeah, whomever
as this wine goes out into the world.
Whoever wins this lot, you're gonna have to open one bottle with Nolan when he's 21.
Exactly. I like that. Well, thank you so much, David. I'm glad we're able to get through the tech glitch and
your patience with us too. Thank you so much.
oh, no worries, no worries. Cheers. Thank you so much. All righty. Are you all having a good time out there? I think you are. So I just want to make sure. All right. I think we're up to last but not least. So we're going to say goodbye to David from Tate, and we're going to go to the Wine Foundry. And that will be Patrick Saboe, who is the winemaker. So just give me a moment to bring them on. Let's see. All righty, I just sent the request. Everyone loved David's story about the inspiration for his wine. Absolutely. His sweet little boy, Nolan, who was born between the harvest of the Merlot and the Cabernet.
Am I still alive, Wanda? Because
you are still alive.
This young man. This is Nolan.
Okay, we're going to try again with the Wine Foundry.
Oh, I think she cut me.
Oh, is that Nolan? Oh my goodness, could he be any cuter?
He's waving hi.
Nolan, I love your wine. Oh, what a sweetie.
Thank you.
So everyone, when you're bidding on this lot 120, picture that sweet little angelic face of Nolan and bid. Oh, thank you so much. Such a treat to meet him. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Oh, what a sweetie. All right, we're going to try to get the Wine Foundry on, Patrick Saboe. Or if you are watching Wine Foundry, you can send me a request if some reason you're not seeing my request to you. So I think that's the first time I've had a toddler on an Instagram Live. Okay. Wonderful. Hi, how are you, Patrick?
I'm well, thank you. How are you doing?
Great. I'm just going to ask David to hang up if he's able to hear me, because right now you're sharing the screen with Patrick. So, David, if
Hi,
you
David.
can hang up.
Hi, sorry,
Say
Patrick.
hi.
Good to see you, though.
Hitting every button.
Okay. So we'll give him. So, Patrick, my understanding is this is your very first time participating in Premier Napa Valley.
It is. We're super excited. Thank you. It's fun to be here with you and with PNV for sure.
So I'm curious, as someone who, you know, of course, being in Napa, you knew about the event. What made you want to be a part of Premier Napa Valley?
You know, I've been wanting to be a part of it for a number of years, and we are at Foundry Wines. Is a fairly young brand as well, and so we now have the opportunity to be able to take part in this, and I've been watching it from afar and seeing the good that Napa Valley Premier Napa Valley has been able to do for the community and for the industry as a whole, and not only for all the vintners and give the promotion the wines and of the area, and as far as being a world-class grape growing region, but also the good that comes from as David mentioned, as a number of the other colleagues have mentioned, is that how important it is to the community itself. And so without the community, we wouldn't be able to produce these grapes and these wines. And so it's really important to be able to have an avenue to support the local community. And so Premier, 25 years now of doing that is an amazing accomplishment. And so
it really
here's to all the people that have the founders and collaborators and vintners that have supported over the years, again, because without their efforts, we wouldn't be able to have this amazing industry that we have. So cheers to all those out there.
Cheers to that. I'm pouring your wine now. Cheers. Beautifully said. So you are lot 128. You produce 10 cases.
You know, it's important. We felt, particularly for our first venture, that we really wanted to be generous, and we wanted to be able to help to provide someone the chance to have this incredible opportunity of having a Stagecoach Vineyard wine, you know, Cabernet Franc primarily, but to have a special blend that nobody else can have. And this is, as many other people were mentioning, this is something that's incredibly rare and special. I'm glad you finished off with Cabernet Franc too. Cabernet Sauvignon usually gets all the credit for, and it's so important to Napa Valley. So I don't want to take any of the steam away from the Cabernet Sauvignon train. However, Cabernet Franc has been around a lot longer than Cabernet. It's the parent of Cabernet Sauvignon, so it's important to bring back some recognition and notoriety to I'm not sure if it's Mama called the mother grape in this case, Cabernet Franc. And so I'm a big fan of the varietal itself and of the vineyard. It's an amazing spot to grow Bordeaux varieties particularly, but Stagecoach Vineyard is the stuff of legends for sure. So I'm excited to share 19 Cabernet Franc, but it's got a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Verdot in there as well, because I really want it to be a special wine from a special place from one moment in time. So it's really important, I think, for us to, particularly now with the past year or two, has been quite difficult for us to appreciate the present and things that we have been given, all the potential things that we have. And so 2019 was a special vintage because of it was fairly genteel. Indeed, I agree with DLynn's comments earlier and a few of the other colleagues, and that things came in very nicely and smooth. And as far as having a harvest goes, typically things can be a bit unpredictable, and this was a bit more steady, and which makes most winemakers a little less gray hair and a little less.
Well, it's such a nice, I think, reward for all of us after what you've all been through, especially as winemakers. The industry really has had some challenges. And the fact that we're doing this virtually, we've all had to pivot. So to come out of it with this beautiful wine at this moment in time, I think resonates even more.
It really does. I agree. The last year and two has been difficult for all of us. But one thing that a colleague said to me yesterday, so she said it really has given us the opportunity to be introspective about, and what makes us, what things that are important to us. And so we realized that without the community that we have and the workers and the people that have contributed to not only to our company, but also to the industry, we wouldn't have that if it wasn't for these people. So giving us a channel and an avenue to be able to contribute to the community was really important. So we leaped at the opportunity to be part. It's our 10th harvest coming up this year for us as the Wine Foundry. The Wine Foundry is a family-owned boutique, high-end custom winemaking facility in Napa. There we specialize in kind of small lot, high-end production, custom for small commercial brands and for collectors. And we make a few of the brands for ourselves as well, including Foundry wines. And it allows us to kind of pick the best of the best and really work with some of the best vineyards from up and down the coast. And we're very fortunate and pleased to be a part of the Premier Napa Valley this year.
I love it. Well, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit more about the wine. Now, for people who aren't as familiar with Cab Franc, You know, do you have to treat it a bit differently than Cabernet Sauvignon? You want to tell us a bit about the winemaking
Yeah,
for your lot here?
I appreciate the question. Thank you. Because Cabernet Franc is quite special to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say in a lot of ways that most people tend to make Cabernet Sauvignon or Cabernet Franc similar to that might make a Cab Sauv. Generally, you might have a little bit more restraint or finesse. The grape itself brings more finesse and elegance typically than a Cab Sauv does. Bordeaux varieties in general are very complementary to each other. Petit Verdot, DLynn, Proctor earlier mentioned Petit Verdot as well, and there's just a few drops of PV, as we like to refer to it.
Yeah.
Cab Sauv and PV and Merlot and even Malbec all have a part perhaps to play. This wine only has 3 of those 5. It didn't include any Merlot or Malbec in that because we don't buy those from Stagecoach, and I really wanted to make a single vineyard, kind of single moment in time kind of wine. Cab Franc itself, to me, shows the best sides of Cabernet Sauvignon without having any of the downsides. And so I'm a big fan of Cab Sauv too, but Cab Sauv lacks finesse and it lacks elegance most of the time, where Cab Franc delivers that with abundance. And so to me, finesse and restraint and is something, are qualities that are oftentimes overlooked and underappreciated. And so I think that the more that we appreciate things that are subtle and nuanced, it allows us to kind of expand our thinking in other ways as well, maybe outside of wine into the world itself, and to not be so to be more finessed. And so,
I love that response. You know, I think the message I'm getting through that, you know, as important as what's in the wine glass does matter, that it connects us in much bigger ways. The Napa community, it connects the Napa community to the world. It's connecting us to be more introspective. So kind of the impact that this has is much larger than you might expect.
You said it better than I did, for sure. It is, that's very well said. I think it's important to try to bring us together, and more Cabernet Franc. It certainly would do that.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations. Again, this is lot number 128, everyone. It's for the Cab Franc fans. And you can get 10 cases. So that's quite a nice
Twice
get.
the fun, yeah.
Have the winning bid.
Thanks so much, Wanda, for your
much.
time.
Lovely
Appreciate
to
it.
meet you.
Cheers.
Well, you know, thank you all for tuning in. I can't believe that this hour is just about up. We've met with 6 premier Napa Valley winemakers. Again, I urge you to go to the website premiernapavalley.com to learn more. You can still register to attend virtually if you're a member of the trade. There are 47 virtual events. You can also watch the auction live on June 5th, even if you aren't registered. So the festivities run from June 1 to June 5th. Again, all these details and more at premiernapavalley.com. Thank you all for your patience, for your lovely comments. Thank you all at Premier Napa Valley. Thank you to my colleagues at SOMM Journal. This has really been a joy. And again, wine brings us together in so many ways, and we're all in a community, and this is our chance to support the Napa Valley wine community. So cheers and stay safe.